So in this episode, now that I got the inner barrel, the hop-up unit tightened up, I figured that now I could try and use the Matrix 603 110 millimeter inner barrel. So hopefully it'll give us a little bit better accuracy and a little bit increase of FPS. Now remind you now that for people who's going to be using the Amoeba suppressor, you may not want to change out the inner barrel. But because I plan not to use the suppressor, I'll go with the Matrix 603 110 millimeter. And like my previous episodes I said the stock inner barrel, which I believe is a 605, about 103 millimeters. So like I said, for people who are using suppressor, don't change out the inner barrel unless it's 103, roughly 103 millimeter. So but for me, I'm going to change it out since I have no plans to use a suppressor. Alright, so we got the Matrix 603 110 millimeter type bore barrel in there. So let's give it a test try, see if it will fire and give us results. It is firing, so we'll measure the FPS. 330. Wow. So you could see with 110 spring and a nice Matrix 603 110 millimeter inner barrel, I saw a good, 25 FPS increase. Well, not with the spring, but with the inner barrel. So, like I said, looks like that inner barrel that ARES give you stock is probably a 605 or a 608. Not very much a tight bore, so you could see that if you change out the inner barrel, you could get a good 25 FPS. Ooh, 332. So with this kind of FPS, I probably could switch down to a M100 spring if I really wanted to get a little bit more RPS. So up to you guys what you want to do, but you could see with a Matrix M110 spring and with a Matrix 603 110 millimeter tight bore barrel and all the other mods I've done to it, you could get 332, and that's using a weaker spring too. So up to you. You could use an M100 spring, but you might have to use the Amoeba series ball bearing steel guide. I have that coming soon, so definitely I'll test it and see if it'll give me a little bit more FPS. Then we could decide whether I want to use an M100 spring.